You ever wonder how all this new tech actually works? We're talking about the AI that seems to get our world, our faces, and even our voices. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the powerful engine behind it all, deep learning. I mean, really think about it. How on earth does your phone unlock just by looking at you? Or how does your smart speaker know what song you want to hear, like instantly? It really does feel like magic, right? But it's not. So what's the secret sauce? Well, the answer is something called deep learning. It's this really cool part of AI that lets computers learn in a way that's, well, almost human. And the whole idea was actually inspired by the most powerful computer on the planet, our brain. Okay, so this is the big idea right here. On one side, you've got the human brain, right? It's filled with billions of neurons firing signals all over the place, receiving, processing, sending. And on the other side, we have what's called an artificial neural network. It's basically a computer model that tries to copy that same setup, using these little things called nodes to do the same job but with data. So let's break this network down. It's actually pretty simple when you look at it. First up, you have the input layer. Think of this like your eyes or ears. It just takes in all the raw information, like all the pixels from a photo. Then, in the middle, you've got the hidden layers. This is where the real thinking, the heavy lifting happens. And finally, you get the output layer, which spits out the answer. Something simple like, yep, that's your face. And that right there brings us to the big definition. So when you hear someone say deep learning, that deep part, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It literally just means the network has a lot of those hidden layers, all stacked up. Each one has its own special job, letting the whole system figure out really, really complex stuff from tons and tons of data. Okay, so how in the world do these layers actually learn anything, right? That's the cool part. It's not like a programmer sits down and writes a rule for every single possibility. No way. The network learns from experience. Let's stick with that face recognition example to see what I mean. All right, so imagine you feed the network a photo of a face. That very first hidden layer, it has no idea it's looking at a face. Not a clue. Its job is way simpler. It's just looking for the most basic stuff imaginable. Little edges, straight lines, curves, maybe a bright spot here or a dark spot there.
Okay, so now all those little lines and edges get passed up to the next layer in the chain. And this layer's job is to start putting those puzzle pieces together. It's like, hey, this curve in this circle, that kind of looks like an eye. Or these two lines next to each other, that could be a nose.
And then we get to the final layers. They take all those bigger parts, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, that the previous layers found, and they assemble the whole thing. And by this point, layer by layer, it's built up enough confidence to make a final call. Okay, I've seen the edges, I've seen the parts, and I've put them together. I recognize this. This is a human face.
You see, this whole layered approach is what gives deep learning its superpowers. It's amazing with huge amounts of data, and it's just incredible at spotting patterns and messy, complicated stuff that a human might totally miss. That's why it's so perfect for things that don't have a neat and tidy structure. You know, things like images, our own speech, or even translating languages. And the crazy thing is, you are using this stuff every single day, probably without even thinking about it. It's what's happening behind the scenes with Face Unlock on your phone. It's how Siri and Alexa can actually understand what you're asking. It's the engine in those real-time translation apps. And it's even getting into really serious fields, like helping doctors spot diseases in medical scans way earlier. It's everywhere. All right, so let's boil this all down to a couple of key takeaways. First up, the neural network. Just remember, it's that AI model that's totally inspired by how the neurons in our own brains are all connected. It's the blueprint for everything we've talked about. And our second big idea is deep learning. This isn't just about the structure, it's the process. It's how these super deep, multi-layered networks learn from experience, building up all this complex knowledge from really simple bits of data. And really, at the end of the day, this whole idea of layered learning, that's it. That's the secret. That's what makes modern AI feel so mind-blowingly smart. It's not actual magic, but it's a pretty brilliant way to build understanding from the ground up, piece by piece. So all of this leaves us with a really big question to chew on. If AI can learn from experience, kind of like we do, it makes you wonder, if it's already learning to see, to hear, to translate languages, what's off limits? What can't it learn? And more importantly, will that always be the answer? That's the question that's going to shape our future.